the whole.
Well, you're only as old as you feel, as they say.
Yeah, well, sometimes I feel great, and then sometimes I feel like I'm almost 50.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I died in the Civil War, But
Wow. Hold on. Important question. Which
all
side
right.
were you fighting for?
you know, I don't know.
Because geographically, uh, it's
Geographically, I would be
literally on the border.
in the South. Yeah.
Yeah,
Too soon. Too soon. Too
yeah,
soon. Can't talk about that.
yeah. We can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's not. Let's not. Well, yeah. Giro Italia. Start date. I think it's Sunday. No, it's tomorrow. Holy shit. I'm ill prepared for the Giro. All right.
Yeah, I've got it circled on my calendar. But
And with that, welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Who Dey Lounge. I'm your host, Cincy to France, along with one of my best friends and best people that you will ever see, Adam.
thank you. That's very kind.
Don't
Stop
play
it.
modest. Don't be modest.
How's it going, everybody?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. How about yourself?
I am good. And you know what?
What's that?
I'm not going to mess around. We don't have a lot of time. Adam, I know why everybody clicked on this episode of Who Dey Lounge. Do you know why?
Yes, post-draft coverage.
That's not it. Adam, everybody wants to know your thoughts, who you think is going to win the Giro d'Italia. And right now we are Friday evening. Well, Friday evening for me. Tomorrow, May 4th, is Giro d'Italia, the Tour of Italy. Adam, who you got?
I'm going to go with Miguel Indurain.
The hell? Adam, you're a few, I will say years a little late, dude.
Oh,
and how,
okay.
First of all, how do you even know that name?
I have no idea. There
Dude,
is so much useless, so many useless facts and just trash up here. Yeah, but yeah, that's who I'm going with.
I'm so proud of you right now. Even though you're a couple, you might be like a decade later or whatnot. that is impressive. I am so proud of you. I was hoping. All right, who's your favorite cyclist?
Is that Pikachu? Is he still racing?
Yes, and that is the favorite, Adam.
Okay,
he is the huge favorite. There's nobody who can beat him. There's nobody who's going to come close to beating him. If you're watching this and you have enough time to put in a bet for who the winner is going to be, don't let those odds scare you. Bet responsibly. Cycling is a dangerous sport. You never know who can crash at any moment. There could be something that happens. He could catch a flat. Just be responsible. However, but Pogacar, Tadej Pogacar is going to literally almost run away with the Giro d'Italia. Everybody else is there for second place, and there's not even anybody close, unfortunately, due to injuries and the one-day classics and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's Pogacar's race. Everybody's racing for second and third place.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do.
All right.
I've got the DraftKings deal. I don't bet a lot. Some during football season. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put $5 on Pogacar to win the Giro d'Italia.
That will win you like 20 cents.
That's okay. Hey, listen, I'm just here for I'm here for support. Okay. But here's my question though: is if I were to parlay that into, your top 2, top 3, who else? Enlighten us, us novice, fan. Well, I can't say I'm a fan, but us novice followers of the sport, who should we choose?
All right, if you're going in order, so I would go Pogacar 1. I'm going chalk. So I'm going Pogacar 1. I'm going Romain Bardet 2. Now, Romain Bardet is coming off an emotional second place. And I guess he started doubting himself. He doesn't believe in himself anymore. But he came in second to Tadej Pogacar and in a classic. And he was emotional. He broke down. Maybe that will spur something within him to reach the heights that a lot of French fans have been waiting for. So Roman Bardet would be 2. And if you want to couple that with Geraint Thomas from Ineos, Team Ineos. But Geraint Thomas, he's old, man. He's old. Like, I thought he was going to retire like 3 or 4 years ago. And he's still there and he's still getting it done. Those are the 3 favorites. So I would go chalk. I would go Pogačar, Roman Bardet, and Geraint Thomas. However, I don't really have an outsider for you. To be honest, the Giro kind of snuck up on me, so I haven't had a good chance to like look at the rosters and see who would be a good outside bet. But if you wanted to do a parlay, Bardet and Pogačar together, Bardet, Pogačar, Geraint Thomas together. If you wanted to take one of those guys off and put the leader of another team on, I would do that. If you wanted to take Geraint Thomas off and put somebody else, I just have a hard time believing that Geraint Thomas can still get it done in a 3-week race at his age. It's like, wow, but he's still getting it done. So you never know.
All right, that's a good hard sell there. And you know what else is tomorrow, by the way, since we're talking about racing?
What's that?
Very exciting event here in my home state. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow.
Wow.
So, so if you want some horses to bet on, I can't help you. I have no idea.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting with baby.
I mean, so we just, hey, here, number 4, number 12, number 15. Let's, whatever. But
yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to give me some insight there.
No, I'm sorry. No, I can't. Yeah. No, I dangled the carrot, but I took it away.
Unfortunately, our favorite Americans, Sepp Kuss, he's not going to be there. However, the American champion, the national champ, Magnus Sheffield for Ineos, he will be there. But of course, he will be riding for his leader, Geraint Thomas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Americans at the starting list for tomorrow's race. So yeah, that's something to look forward to.
All right, Gary Sheffield, got it. All right.
Sheffield. Wow.
Let's do this.
Anyway, I know why everybody is really here, Adam, of course, and they want to know what we thought about the draft. So, Adam, the floor is yours.
We've already touched on round 1, Mims. Is there anything more that you want to add to that since the dust has settled a little bit?
I like it less than I did initially.
I remain neutral. I'm still have no idea what to expect. This is a wait and see thing for me. So the draft didn't need.
All right, you want to go with? All right, the last time we were on here, you asked me. You talked about us not needing anything, and I brought up defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll take this round 1, Mims. I'm disappointed because I think we could have got, I think we could have got our starting tackle in the second round. He was there. We missed out on 2 starting caliber defensive tackles who were still on the board. We missed out on an starting caliber center. And we missed out on a starting caliber left tackle who could have moved to right tackle. He reminded me a lot of Anton Harrison from last year, who I loved last year. I felt just as good about Paul this year. Talk me down, Adam. Please talk me down.
Yeah, well, like I said last time, his physical presence is something you can't ignore. Hey, listen, I'm trying.
That's the only thing anybody says about him.
That was my point last week. That's all you could say about him.
That was it.
I have no idea. I have no idea if he will be a successful right tackle, and neither do you. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. But dude, we don't have time to be sitting around and trying to figure this ish out.
We do have time to figure this out because Trent Brown is your starting right tackle. Mims is not your starting right tackle.
Fine. Adam said this last week. Are we the only team who are drafting 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounders to start, but we're sitting our first round picks? Like, we're doing it on purpose. Who drafted Penix?
Atlanta.
The Falcons. They're going crazy because they got a quarterback, and all of their fans are saying, we got somebody who won't help us this year. We need help this year. We should be the ones making that argument. And the only thing, if you're listening to this and you were a Mims fan and now you're a Mims stan, why? And you can't tell me anything. The only person who said anything about him playing well that I've heard was me. I said he was good, and that was before I posted him whiffing on full plays on Twitter. But I say he played well when he wasn't whiffing, and there's potential there.
Mhm.
Other than that, all you hear is size,
Yep.
potential, upside. That's it.
Yep. That's
Size,
all you can
potential,
say.
upside.
That's all you can say. Yeah, unfortunately,
That's
he
not
doesn't
enough.
have the body of work to be able to to kind of determine what's going to happen at the next level. He just hasn't played a lot is the problem. So, like I said, this is a wait and see thing. I remain neutral. I'm not getting hot or cold either way on this pick. Like I mentioned last week, the whole goal of the Cincinnati Bengals should be to protect their star quarterback. Period. That's the first thing that they need to be focused on. So, in I listen, I wish Joe Alt was there. I wish some of these other, but Amarius Mims was there, and they took a chance. So whether that plays out in their favor, we'll just have to see.
Pittsburgh freaking Steelers drafted my freaking center.
Mm-hmm.
We could have moved our center to left guard. He has experience at guard. We like versatility. We have that. We could have drafted a starting center for the next, I don't know how many years, to snap the ball to Joe Burrow. He's not a Billy Price. He can actually snap the ball. He's actually good. And we drafted a guy, and we're like, eh. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh said, now, I don't usually like their drafts, but they drafted my guy. They drafted my Steelers. A couple of years ago, the Ravens drafted everybody's center for the Bengals. Linderbaum. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're drafting Miles Murphy. We're drafting. I mean, I hope all these guys turn out to be all pros. Cross our fingers. No. Oh, I forgot something that everybody else pointed out, which was practice. He practiced against top-notch competition.
Yeah.
Practice.
We're talking
Practice.
about practice.
Practice.
We're talking about practice.
Practice. Not a game.
Not a
practice.
Game. Practice.
If he was so good in practice against all these guys, how come he came out the first game against Ball State whiffing? Ball State. I saw somebody, there was a really big fan of the wide receiver, Brian Thomas. Don't let him be good.
Yeah.
Don't let him. If Brian Thomas is good, which most people seem to believe he's going to be, don't let him be good. And Mims is still, don't. I hope Mims is an all-pro. I hope he's a Hall of Fame right tackle. I hope somebody looks at this and goes, I was tripping. I hope you're right.
Yep.
But man,
I do too. I'm with you. I would have gone, if you had told me that instead of doing what they did in rounds 1 and 2, they took Johnny Newton in round 1. If we're looking at trenches, Johnny Newton in round 1, and then going Paul in round 2, let's say, I probably would have been more comfortable with that than what they ended up doing. But
we're
talking hypotheticals.
Adam, you just fixed the defensive line. You just fixed the offensive line with players that we love, especially Newton. We both loved him.
All right, so we've got Mims off the table now.
Yeah, second round.
Let's talk about second round. Why don't you go first?
It goes back to the first round pick. We could have had Newton, we could have had Sweat, and now we're picking up Jenkins. All right, Jenkins, he's a fine player. He likes it. He can split double teams with a vicious swim move. It is beautiful to watch. However, I can't get over the, like you said, defensive tackle first round, offensive tackle second round. That should have been it. So I'm kind of stuck there. He's not the DJ Reader guy. We got the BJ Hill. We got the Zach Carter. I almost threw my headphones, Adam. Talk, man. I'm talking too much. Talk.
All right. So here's the issue. Of course, we went into day 2 thinking the Bengals are going to draft their next, D tackle. I'd read where the Bengals maybe inquired on trading up, which I think they should have done. They had plenty of picks to do it, but maybe the asking price was going to be too high. So what happened? Basically, the second round started, and it was like D tackle. They just melted off the board. Even Tavondre Sweat, who some thought might fall quite a bit because of his DWI, even he went before the Bengals at 38. So there you are. So the Bengals pick at 49. A lot of their perhaps targets at DT were gone, but Chris Jenkins was sitting there. Now, personally, I like Jenkins. I didn't really have him targeted towards the Bengals because I was hopeful that they could maybe get somebody in maybe just a higher tier of defensive tackle. Some positives though. The Bengals, one of their weaknesses last year, actually probably their biggest weakness last year, was stopping the run game. So they had to bring in a defensive tackle that was going to be able to step up and help stop the run game. And that's one of the things Chris Jenkins is really good at. He's an excellent run defender. If you're thinking that the Bengals, drafted the next Geno Atkins, that he's not Geno Atkins. So don't get your hopes up there. Now, maybe that's an element he can add.
You never know.
You never know.
Atkins was a fourth rounder.
He was, but his skill set isn't pass rush right now. Now, again, this wouldn't, if he does kind of add that to his repertoire, it would be the first time that a player got to the NFL and added another skill set. So it could happen. You hear about what a great personality he is. The city of Cincinnati's already fallen in love with him. So he's going to be a good character guy to have in the locker room. I don't look past those things. I think those things are important. I think you need that unity and cohesiveness on the team. But again, I think the biggest thing is that that's what they had to land on because everybody else had already fallen off the board. So we'll talk about their fourth pick that they had as it complements this position. But for me, I thought if you want me to give a grade to this, I think I would give the Chris Jenkins pick. I'd probably give it a B. And we can't sit here and think hypotheticals and we should have done this in the first round. This is who they picked. It does fill a need, so I'm going to give this pick a B.
I only grade the draft. First of all, I don't like grading drafts, but I know the people want it. Mm-hmm. I only grade according to who was still left on the board and who they could have had and what they should have done and how it felt.
So that should play into your overall grade, not necessarily this pick. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I give this an incomplete. That plays into it though. You know who went 2 picks later, right? To the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Zach Frazier. Yeah.
If the point of this Joe Burrow experiment is to keep him upright, and we got 2 interior veterans who are entering the last year of the contract, I believe, both of them, and you got the best center in the draft, just sitting there, just take me, I'm yours, come get me, please. And you're talking about filling a need. So if I understand this correctly, we drafted one guy who's going to sit and hopefully he'll be able to protect Joe Burrow in 2025. Cross our fingers. Mm-hmm. And then we got another guy who can step in tomorrow and move the center to left guard and just upgrade overall this year. But no, position of need. I thought didn't we love Zach Carter just like 2 years ago?
Did we no, we did not love Zach Carter.
We did. The royal Bengals Nation, we love Zach Carter. So yeah, I mean, what's up? Okay, fine. I don't know what that grade is. I will give it a C.
Okay,
maybe. All right, fine. And then Patrick Paul went to the Miami Dolphins. They finally selected a good. See, listen to me now. Believe me later on. I told y'all about Eichenberg. I told y'all we named it the Eichenberg Award for a reason. Yeah. And then they went and got a good offensive lineman, and they finally got a good offensive lineman. My offensive lineman. Anyway.
Cincy to France, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for him.
No, I'm anyway, all right. 3rd round pick, we got Jermaine Burton. Your thoughts?
Oh man, this
Adam Steele.
This pick, I'm getting ready to go off here. Right. This pick was probably the most polarizing pick in the entire draft of all teams.
I thought everybody loved it.
Need to calm down here for just a second. All right,
deep breath.
Jermaine Burton.
Woosah.
His body of work on the field will blow you away. 1st round talent, great hands,
the results,
great route running ability, the ability to stretch the field, can move in and play slot. So you really can't take those intangibles away from him. But Zach Taylor has a reputation of drafting. We've talked about this before. High character, team captain, great locker room personalities. And for some reason, for whatever reason, we're going back to the Marvin Lewis era of targeting values based on off the field concerns. Now, there have been instances where there was a level of success that the Bengals achieved, then it didn't win a playoff game. And the reason they didn't win a playoff game is because a couple of these low character individuals cost them the game. That is my biggest concern with Jermaine Burton, is that he's going to come in. He was essentially run out of the locker room by Kirby Smart at Georgia. Got to Alabama. There's talks of him just not being a great locker room personality. Doesn't have he's not real good at controlling his emotions. There was an incident after the Tennessee game when the Volunteers upset Alabama. Tennessee rushed the field and he took a swing at a female Vols fan. Everything I've kind of read and heard about Burton is that it's not his talent that's the issue. It's up here, and I put a lot of stock into that personally. Like I said earlier, so for those people that say, and I've read some of these things that, well, it's okay. He's going to come in and the Bengals brass is going to get him into shape, and his teammates are going to get him on the right track, and all these things. Hopefully, but that's a pretty naive thing to say. I mean, these are character traits that, and I hate, I hate it for this young man. I hope he can come in, and I hope he has a really successful NFL career. I hope he helps the Bengals win a Super Bowl. I hope he can keep his emotions in check. But I made this post on Twitter that when the day comes that that the Bengals are in a critical game at a critical point, and there's an unsportsmanlike call like we saw from Burfict or Pac-Man Jones back in the day, it's not going to be Burton's fault. This is Zach Taylor's fault. He did his homework. He met with Burton. Okay, so wow, he liked what he saw. But I have some serious concerns about this pick. Not the player, but the person. And again, hopefully he can come in and turn things around and has not just a great NFL career, but hopefully in life. Hopefully he does really well in life too. But those are my concerns. So I'm giving this grade. If I had to attach a grade to it, I would give it probably a C-. What say you?
That was strong. I like to take the off the field concerns a little bit off the table. The production was not there. Like, he averaged 20 yards a catch, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And I love a deep threat who can get deep while only running a 4.45. That tells me that he can get open, that he can accelerate, that he knows how to position himself to run around defenders. But the production still wasn't there. Now, it might have been the fault of the system he was in. The quarterback, Alabama, chose to run the ball a lot more than they passed. Even before that, the production wasn't there. Now, 20 yards a catch is amazing, but still, it's the production that kind of worries me just a bit. Everybody seems to like him, so that's one thing. The second thing that always upsets me is every time the draft comes around, we forget about the previous drafts. We got one of my favorite guys last year. We got Charlie Jones last year. He was one of my top 30. He was one of my favorite wide receivers in the entire draft. He's still on the roster.
Yeah.
I believe in Charlie Jones. We saw him return a punt for a touchdown. We saw him destroy day one, day two cornerbacks one-on-one down the field for touchdowns. We've seen it. We've seen it, Adam. Mm-hmm. Let's give some of these young guys some run. Now, if you don't believe in Charlie Jones, if you don't think he's the guy, I personally believe he can be the guy. Mm-hmm. So I want to see him give some more run. Burton, fine. I'm okay with the pick. Again, I'll give it a C, whatever. But there's guys on the roster who can play as well. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, we just kind of throw them to the side. We kind of forget about them. And this year is Charlie Jones, a potential somebody. I heard it was a nice replacement for Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is still out there.
Yeah, I don't really see that. Well, I
don't see it either.
Well, he'll take some Tyler Boyd snaps probably. Really, I think they brought Gesicki more to kind of take some Tyler Boyd snaps as well. I think maybe they're looking past this year when T. Higgins potentially isn't extended. We saw some good things out of Yoshivas last year. We've seen over the last few years good things out of Trent Irwin, who they re-signed. So, I don't want to get into the weeds again on Burton, but you like his intangibles on the field, so we're just gonna have to see how it plays out. But I'm with you. I love Charlie Jones. I think he'd do a good job filling that Tyler Boyd role as well.
All right, let's move on to the second of the third round picks, McKinley Jackson. What do you think?
Oh man.
You liked him. You liked him.
I did. So I did. I liked him in the 6th or 7th round. That's what I put out there. He was somebody that I think could come in a rotation. He's a big guy. There weren't a lot of good, just traditional nose tackles to kind of fill the line, like we may have seen in Sweat.
Yeah.
After Sweat was gone, that was kind of it. But McKinley Jackson was somebody they met with. He was a team captain last year. Now he's not. He's had his own past with drug charges and an arrest. Now that was 3 years ago. Hopefully he's beyond that and he's matured. But again, just looking at the Zach Taylor, fit of high character guys, maybe that's past him now. But on the field, I don't think he's somebody that you're going to see a whole lot of production out of. He can probably come in and on a rundown and kind of help stop the run here and there. So yeah, I did like him, but again, more in the 6th or 7th. I think third round, the third round was, they way overpaid. I mean, you look at the guys that were still on the board in the third round that they could have picked. Not to play the hypothetical game with you, Glenn, but
please, that's the only game I'm playing right now.
Yeah, but no, they are, in my opinion, I hope I'm totally wrong, they are not going to see the payoff from him as a third round pick than you might see with other third round picks. He was more consensus 6th, 7th in that range. So to me, this pick is a D for me. I thought it was a wasted pick. I would have waited till later in the draft. Not
wasted because you liked him. You identified him.
They wasted their 2nd, 3rd round pick on him, is my point.
Right. It's because of who, D for me, because of who was still left. Again, hypothetical. It was the people who I wanted the Bengals to target were still left on the board. And we will talk about that in 1 second. I guess we should get to the 4th round pick now. Tight end. Wow. Oh my God. All right, fine. You take it. Go. Eric All.
So this draft has been the draft of ifs. So if he can develop into a pro prospect, if he can stay healthy, if he can stay out of trouble, if Eric All is one of those, if he can stay healthy. Here's the first thing I love about this is that he's an Iowa tight end. We know about the lineage of Iowa tight ends who've had a lot of success in the NFL. No, come on.
He's a Michigan tight end.
It's tight end you. Come on.
He's a Michigan tight end.
He was drafted out of Iowa. Anyway.
He's a Michigan tight end.
But he's a Cincinnati kid, which is kind of cool. He had major back surgery 2 seasons ago.
Jackson Carmen.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so he had major. This is if you want Bengals positivity, turn this off.
I'm positive.
You are not.
You just wait.
Yeah,
I'm about to get real positive in about 2 rounds.
Eric All had major back surgery a couple years ago. Came back, had to kind of rehab through some of that. Started to show some signs of being a really effective tight end at Iowa until he tore his ACL. So he's coming off of that ACL surgery. My feeling is he's probably going to start the season on the PUP list. Hopefully he makes an appearance in 2024 at some point, but I think they look at him as another kind of risk reward, high upside type of pick, and we'll see what happens. So he's been comped to George Kittle, who also played at Iowa. That seems pretty generous, but if he
that's the only
George
reason
Kittle,
why.
Yeah. So anyway, the body. I mean, he has talent. The guy can. I mean, he can come in and play in the trenches. He can block. He can catch passes. But like I said, it's a big if he gets healthy and if he stays healthy. What say you? B-. What say you?
B-. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's dude. All right, come on, man. I told them to draft Jared Wiley in the third round. The last time we talked, I said draft Jared Wiley, third round. One of those third round picks has to go to Jared Wiley. Has to. And then later you can get my guy, who they got, my guy. But then you could have doubled up. You could have had Jared Wiley and my guy. We'll talk about that later. It passed on Jared Wiley for Eric All. And then do you know who drafted Eric All, Adam?
He drafted Wiley?
All right, yeah, my bad. Do you know who drafted Jared Wiley?
I do.
Could you please tell the people?
So Jared Wiley is going to be playing behind Travis Kelce in Kansas City.
So my starting center went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My starting tight end went to the Kansas. Come on, man. Come on. You can't make this up. You cannot. Come on, man. And I don't get it. I watched it. He blocking, catching. Or one of the games I watched, he dropped the very first pass and went right through his hands just like this. He made another catch, a nice catch later, but it just dropped right between his pass blocking, run blocking. He's I mean, Wiley was there, available. Just that alone, I would have bumped up their overall grade. But so you're saying I can't play the hypothetical game? I have to. This is either we're trying to win now or we're going to keep drafting projects. We're trying to fill up the tight end room. So, okay, I'm done. All right, your position.
Corner.
Corner.
5th round pick. Yep.
Josh Newton. Go.
Yeah. If you look at his testing numbers, he's not. Okay, go ahead.
The New York Jets got your running back.
They did. Yep, they did. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that.
Eric All.
Yeah. Yep. See, I can play the hypothetical game too. I would have drafted Braylon Allen myself, but I'm not sure how much work he's going to get in New York. So
he's just going to run over somebody. That dude is Marshawn Lynch. Run through a MFer's face.
Yeah.
That's
brilliant. And it can take out your defensive end too.
MFers taking out pass blocking. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Anyway,
I was disappointed in that. So what were we even talking? Oh, cornerback. Yeah, cornerback. Josh Newton, 5th round pick. Again, testing numbers will not get you excited at all. His 40 was disappointed. His RAS score, if you put any stock into that whatsoever, is pretty disappointing.
I had an argument with that guy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, so my point is that he's not going to have the athletic testing numbers of some of these other prospects. If you look at his tape, he's fine. You know, I think. Thank God he doesn't have to come in and start. I mean, I could probably see him getting some special teams work. You know, there's some flashes here and there that I saw where he, despite maybe some of his, maybe weaknesses in terms of speed and some of his other intangibles, he steps up and makes plays from time to time. One thing that I saw is he tends to play the receiver a little bit too much instead of playing the ball. So I think that's something that maybe they can work on with him, which, those types of things can lead to penalties. So hopefully, maybe this is something that they just kind of see as somebody that can come in and just be a part of that defensive back room. I'm really not sure how much work he's going to get since they're moving Dax Hill to corner. I think he can play some nickel, so maybe he can step in and play a little bit of nickel. But to me, he's somebody that is just going to kind of complement that defensive back room and maybe play some special teams.
Didn't we just love DJ Ivy? Didn't we just all fall in love with him? Like
in the preseason, yeah. Until he got hurt, yeah.
Anyway,
so, sorry. B-.
I was hoping you would make me feel better about that pick because you are the cornerback guru. I watched him, like you said. He's fine. He's a solid tackler, good in coverage sometimes not so much, but just like every other DB, pretty much. Didn't we just love George Allen 2 seconds ago? Or Allen George, my bad.
George,
Allen George. I always do that. I always call him George Allen. Allen George. I mean, yeah, he's okay. Fine.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. All right. Who's next?
Finally,
Here we go. All right.
Tanner McLachlan, 6th round, tight end, Arizona. My guy. Listen, I wrote the article. He was number 1 on my list. He was my number 1 tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. My number 2 was Jared Wiley. Number 1, McLachlan. Got him in the 6th round, which is where I said we should get him. Perfect for the Cincinnati Bengals. A good pass blocker, good run blocker, can catch the ball. Broke some of Gronk's records at Arizona. If you're gonna talk about a tight end in the same breath as Gronk, that's obviously a good thing. I'm not mad at it. Of course, I'm loving that pick. Tanner McLachlan. I was the one who said go get Tanner McLachlan. They got Tanner McLachlan. Now I just need him to prove me right. Just like I need Charlie Jones to prove me right. Just like I need Chase Brown to prove me right. But yeah, Tanner, I love that. I love that pick. Love it. You know I love it. You know I was finally got one of my guys. Finally, the happiest I was the whole draft is when they selected Tanner McLachlan. Absolutely loved it.
So what's your grade on Tanner McLachlan?
A++.
All right.
A++. I wish I could go higher.
All right. I have some bad news.
You hush.
Okay. I love the prospect that is Tanner McLachlan. However, all right, if Eric All is if he gets healthy again, this is an if. McLachlan's your 5th tight end on the depth chart. So I'm not sure where he plays. I'm not sure how they fit him in. I think he's a practice squad guy.
Does it look like I'm scared that Tanner McLachlan is not going to play? Do you think I'm nervous about that?
We go into camp. I mean, Drew Sample will be on this team. Actually, they're moving. From what I read, they might start using Drew Sample more as a traditional fullback. So maybe there's your in. I don't know, but Sample, Hudson, right? Am I forgetting his name?
Yeah, that's Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson. You have Gesicki and then Eric All, and then McLachlan would be your 5th tight end on the roster. So to me, I mean, if all the chips kind of fall where they may, he's a practice squad guy.
If you think Eric All is going to play in front of McLachlan, I have a bridge in Tokyo to sell to you. Stop it. I'm not worried. This might be a moot point because all probably starts on the PUP list. So maybe this is a moot point, but he still has to supplant Tanner Hudson, who they really like. I don't know. I'm not worried, Adam.
Okay. Let's just leave it there.
This is how confident I am. So I had 2 tight ends for the Bengals last year. Washington and Braden Willis. And everybody said the same thing you're saying about McLachlan for the Bengals. They were saying about Braden Willis in San Francisco last year. Where's he going to play? How's he going to play? Blah, blah, blah. He's not even going to make the squad. He's a practice squad guy. Yeah, he made the squad. I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about McLachlan. It will all work out. You know why? Because hopefully the best players will play, and he's going to be one of the best players. I'm not worried.
I hope you're right. Hey, for you, I hope you're right. And like I said, I like him as a prospect. And hey, tight end depth, not a bad thing.
Cedric Johnson, defensive end, the 2nd, 6th round pick. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell me why.
He looks. All right. This is. You're gonna love this. He reminded me a bit of Miles Murphy, but as a 6th round pick. I was like, this is awesome for a 6th round pick. This is awesome. And you know what he does? And what he does more than Miles Murphy is he does a lot of those defensive stand-up things that Lou Anarumo likes to do with his defensive end. He likes to stand them up and rush the passer that way. So he does more of that than Miles Murphy does. So, and I was like, wow, he kind of reminds me of Miles Murphy a little bit, and we got him in the 6th round, which is fantastic. A little bit less on the sack production, similar playing style, but Cedric Johnson he stands up a little bit more, and I'm like, yeah, he could be like a nice Mal Murphy. I can see why they liked him. And so I was pleasantly surprised by that pick.
Yeah. he's young. I mean, I think he's one of the youngest players they draft. I think he was the youngest player they drafted. So I mean, he still has, hopefully, has a long career in front of him. I think that there's a lot of technique things that he can learn that can really help bolster his game. He does show flashes. I mean, there's been flashes like, who's this guy? You know, why is he a 6th round pick or whatever it was? But then you have concerns where he looks like maybe he takes some plays off here and there and just, kind of gets swallowed up a little bit. I didn't hate the pick. I thought it was a pretty good value. And you can't have enough pass rush depth. Trey Hendrickson should be a Bengal day one. I'm not concerned about that at this point, but yeah. So Joseph Osai is on his he's playing out his contract this year. So I don't know. Hopefully he comes in and overachieves. I'm not, I wasn't overly excited about the pick, but I don't hate the pick either. I think it's a good spot for they drafted him. I thought they got good relative value with him. So yeah, I'll give this one a B.
Yeah, I'm with you. I will give it a B plus because when I went back, I was pleasantly surprised by what I saw. You remember Jeff Gunter?
I do.
What happened to that
Coastal
guy?
Carolina. Yeah.
You remember Cam Sample?
I do.
Joseph Osai, Zach Carter. He was like a defensive end, defensive tackle, supposed to come in and back up BJ Hill, but now we got our 2nd round pick to do that. So where does he fit in all of this?
Right.
And now we have Cedric Johnson. So yeah, it's going to be that's going to be an interesting position battle. Who's going to make it? Who's going to make the practice squad? But yeah, I expect him to push for one of those spots. I'm not going to put him on the practice squad just yet. All right, 7th round pick, Dejon Anthony.
Another Ole Miss guy. They took Ole Miss in back-to-back picks. So DB, kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can play some safety. He can play some nickel. He can play outside a little bit. Again, this pick, I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, he's probably a special teamer. I don't know how much they're going to use him in the secondary. There was this cool play that really reminded me of that Von Bell moment when against the Steelers with Smith-Schuster. Juju.
Yeah.
And very, very similar. Here comes, I think it was a quarterback. Maybe he was running the ball and just
it's like
levels him.
How do you not see him?
No, it's like oncoming traffic. Again, it's not a pick that I'm really excited about. He may make the team and play. One thing to keep in mind is that Stanley Morgan is gone. He went to the Saints. Yeah. Stanley Morgan was their special teams gunner. He was the ace on special teams. He's been with the team a long time, has a leadership role, or had a leadership role. So some of these guys like Newton, like Anthony, I think they're hoping that maybe they can step in and really make a difference on special teams is kind of the way that they see that. And if they can contribute in the secondary here and there, great. But I don't really see that as something that they're going to come in and do right away.
Lou Anarumo has a type. I wrote about this last year. I think I'm going to do it again. He has a type, and this is his type. Dejon Anthony is his type. He spent most of his time in the slot, and he's projected to play free safety, just like Dax Hill, just like a couple of these other guys. Mike Hilton didn't play safety, but he's a slot guy. Dax Hill was a slot guy. Now people are making a big deal of Dax Hill moving back to corner. He was always a corner. He was at Michigan. He was a corner. He was a slot corner. So he was playing out of position as a free safety. And Arumo loves those guys who spent most of their time at slot corner and making them safeties. So maybe it'll work out, and hopefully it will. I think he has a shot to make the team. If you're going to play him at safety and Dax Hill is counting as a cornerback and you want to keep 4 safeties, well, 5 maybe.
He would basically have to supplant Tyson Anderson at that point.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, when's the last time? Not to Tyson Anderson's, not that it's his fault. When's the last time we saw him?
Yeah, well, he was hurt last year, so.
Yeah. I think Von Bell, Jordan Battle. I think
Geno Stone, the guy they brought in from Baltimore. Yeah.
He's got a shot. That's all I'm saying. He's got a shot. Anarumo loves those guys who can play slot. And don't count him out as a slot corner as well. You don't know what's going to happen in that. We know Mike Hilton, that's his spot. But injuries, whatnot, preseason, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised about the Anthony pick. It was a good pick. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably give it like a B, Like I said, it's nothing. I don't hate the pick. It's fine. So,
I'll go B. That's
okay.
All right. And last one, Matt Lee, center.
I drafted your center, Glenn. You got your center. Your next center.
Leap off. The most frustrating thing about this pick for me was I saw somebody. I'm going to try to find it.
Wait, hang on. Wait. Did Zach Frazier was there in the second round and in Pittsburgh took him? Is that the most frustrating thing?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yes. Okay, fine. The second most frustrating thing about this was that. Oh, I didn't even. Do you know where Limmer was? The center?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where did he go?
He went a little bit later, I think. I'm not sure. There was a way to look this up.
I completely lost track of him.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about him the other day and why the Bengals didn't target him.
Bortoloni went in a 4th round.
Yeah. So he went to Los Angeles.
Yeah, 6th round. Okay, fine. So now I'm mad again. No, but yeah, the frustrating thing was when I saw somebody put on Twitter the PFF grades or something. And they had Matt Lee as the highest graded. You saw it as well.
Yeah.
And somebody said it's great to get a starting center in the 7th round. I was like, first of all, if this doesn't convince you that PFF grades are crap, I don't know what will. Yeah, I moved off of him quick, fast, and in a hurry, just like defensive tackles moved off of him quick, fast, and in a hurry. So yeah, if you're counting on Matt Lee to come in and be a starting center, then yeah, stop. Stop. You better hope not. How about that?
Yeah.
What say you about that pick?
I don't know anything about him. I didn't. The first time I heard his name was when the Bengals drafted him. Bengals Twitter went crazy about the pick. They loved it. They thought, this is an A++ pick and all these things. And I think the question is he better than Trey Hill? Because Trey Hill is your backup center. So will he come in and kind of take that backup center role, or is he just somebody that they're going to relegate to the practice squad or move on? I have no clue how to judge this pick.
I don't think he's better than Trey Hill, but we'll see. No, he's not better than Trey Hill, but if he will make it over Trey Hill, that's another. Can he play guard? Right. Maybe he's a better guard than he is center. Maybe they saw some traits in him where they say, hey, we can put him at left guard and see what he has there, instead of just counting on him to be a future starting center as PFF would suggest. So yeah. All right, Adam, your overall grade.
My overall grade is a C-.
Okay, my overall grade was a D.
Hey, we're right there.
But according to the draft experts, we are being overly negative. According to some, they had one of the top 4 drafts in the league, behind the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals, and Baltimore Ravens. So those were like amongst the consistents. Those were the 4 best drafts. So we are in the minority about how this draft went, but I don't know. Hopefully I'm completely wrong, and this will be the nucleus of our team moving forward. And when they move to San Antonio and become the San Antonio Bengals in 2027, then this will be the nucleus of that team in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was random.
Oh, it was not. Because if you go back and watch some don't go back and watch some old Who Dey Lounge videos. Don't do that. Don't. But I was hey man, 2026 has gotten here a lot faster than some of us thought it would, and it ain't looking good. So
they're working on things. Yeah,
it's not looking good. It's not looking good for a lot of cities, and Cincinnati is just the next up on that list. So hopefully, it will look good. Yep. If not, if the Bengals leave Cincinnati, you still rooting for them?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, we'll see. Well, that's another subject for another day.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
Yeah. But No, I mean, you said, maybe this is their nucleus going forward. I can't remember the word you used, but I don't think they're done. There's always these guys that kind of sneak on their roster from other teams, from camp cuts and that kind of thing. So,
No, I don't.
the Max Sharpings of the world, maybe you don't see them in stripes next year. Maybe Matt Lee takes his takes his spot. But yeah, I mean,
why do you do this to me?
If you haven't sensed this theme, Bengals fans, I think that might need to get some medication for our guy over here.
You're sending me to dark places, man. Like, why do people get so overly excited about people they obviously haven't watched ever?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, ever. Like, we got the best night. You obviously haven't watched this person play. So yeah, I don't know. Max Sharpie. Wow, that's wow. Anyway. Anywho. All right. Anything else?
That is it. I feel better now that I've let all these things off my chest because it's really been eating at me.
Yeah, me too.
I've had indigestion about this draft, and I'm really glad to be able to get it off my chest. So I appreciate it.
Hey man, we're gonna be hated, dude.
That's fine. Yeah,
we're gonna be hated.
Hey, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
And that's how I feel as well. And hopefully, our guys will be okay, and Zach Frazier will be the biggest bust in Pittsburgh Steelers history. And the Kansas City Chiefs won't have any idea what to do with Wiley at tight end. And
well, like I said, this is the draft of ifs. If this happens, if this happens, if this happens, if this happens. To me, there are no sure things on this on the players that they drafted. There are no sure things.
Tanner McLaughlin.
Yeah. I like him. I mean, what do you want me to say? I like him.
Yeah.
But if he makes the team. So, anyway.
You take us out then.
All right. Well, I can't do no. This is your gig.
No, this is ours.
This is but the closing remarks, there's no way I could fill those shoes.
All right, Bengals fans. And with that, be safe, be careful, be nice to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and have a great day. And have a Who Day.
Who Day. Till next time.
Putting Who Day in your day on the Adam and Adams Show.
Marie! What? Babe, can you go get me some more Cubanisto? I don't have any more Cubanisto, please.
Pardon? Mais ça va pas ou quoi? Mais va le chercher ton Cubanisto. Et lui non? Il est fou, mais je crois pas. Merde.